Here's a paradox that broke every rule in rock history. Stairway to Heaven didn't just defy critics. It rewrote the laws of music itself. A satanic conspiracy that was all in your head. A lawsuit decided by sheet music nobody could hear and lyrics written by a ghost in 20 minutes. These are 20 weird facts about Stairway to Heaven. And the bonus? Let's just say the greatest guitar solo ever recorded never actually existed until it did. Plug in. This 8-minute journey's about to blow your mind. Number 1. The famous satanic message everyone heard when played backward? It was a masterclass in brain manipulation. Televangelist Paul Crouch claimed that at 4:19 played in reverse, you could hear, "Here's to my sweet Satan." Millions swore they heard it. Scientists proved it was auditory pareidolia, your brain creating patterns from random noise because someone told you what to listen for. The California legislature even tried to pass a warning label law. The twist? The message only existed because your brain was tricked into creating it. Number 2. The Satanic Panic gained credibility from one disturbing fact. Jimmy Page actually owned Aleister Crowley's haunted mansion. Not just any house, Boleskine House on Loch Ness, where the infamous occultist performed his darkest rituals. Page was obsessed with Crowley, calling him the only Edwardian to embrace the 20th century. This wasn't speculation, this was documented fact. The guitarist of rock's biggest band literally lived in Satan's supposed Scottish headquarters. No wonder the conspiracy theories stuck. Number 3. Here's where it gets truly bizarre. Aleister Crowley himself wrote about playing records backward as magical training. In his occult writings, he advised students to train himself to think backwards by external means. This included speaking backward, walking backward, and specifically listening to records reversed. Page knew this. He'd studied Crowley's work extensively. Suddenly, the backward message theory wasn't random paranoia. It had an actual historical blueprint from the occultist Page admired most. Number 4. When Spirit's estate sued Led Zeppelin for plagiarism in 2014, claiming they stole the opening from Taurus, the trial became a circus of absurdity. The jury had to decide if 8 minutes of rock history was stolen. But here's the insane part. They weren't allowed to hear either song. The 1909 Copyright Act meant only sheet music mattered, not the actual recordings. Imagine judging a food competition by reading recipes instead of tasting the dishes. That's exactly what happened in this multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Number 5. Led Zeppelin's defense was brilliant and infuriating. They argued the similarity was just a descending chromatic scale, basically the musical equivalent of claiming you can't copyright the alphabet. Their lawyers said this progression existed in Baroque music centuries before either band. They weren't wrong, but Randy California from Spirit had died in 1997, drowning while saving his son. His estate fought for recognition he never got in life, only to lose on a technicality about musical building blocks. Number 6. The famous "No Stairway" sign in guitar stores became real because of Wayne's World. But here's the joke within the joke. The movie couldn't afford to use the actual song. Those few notes Wayne plays before being stopped, they would have cost $100,000 in licensing fees, so they recorded random noise instead. The scene mocking the song's overexposure literally couldn't afford to expose the song. Led Zeppelin made the parody prove its own point about their iron grip on the music. Number 7. March 5, 1971. Ulster Hall, Belfast. The song that would define rock music made its world debut to complete indifference. John Paul Jones remembered the crowd was bored to tears waiting to hear something they knew. 8 minutes of unfamiliar prog folk rock to a crowd wanting their hits. They just stood there, confused. The greatest rock song ever written premiered to yawns and bathroom breaks. The band kept playing it anyway, believing in something the audience couldn't yet understand. Number 8. That iconic opening everyone learning guitar tries to master. It's actually a recorder. Yes, a plastic instrument from 3rd grade music class. John Paul Jones ditched his bass to play what most consider a child's toy. But here's the kicker. Jimmy Page admitted he was copying Bach's Bourrée in E minor, calling his version a poor man's Bach. The most famous rock intro ever is literally a classical piece played on an elementary school instrument. Rock and roll rebellion at its finest. Number 9. The guitar solo ranked number 1 by Guitar World. The solo every guitarist dreams of playing was completely made up on the spot. Jimmy Page improvised it. No planning, no written notes, just 3 takes of pure spontaneous genius. He picked the best one and that was it. The most analyzed, studied, and copied solo in rock history was just Page messing around in the moment. He called the Telecaster he used magical, and after hearing what came out of it, who could argue? Number 10. The lyrics that launched 1,000 theories were written in about 20 minutes. Robert Plant sat by a fireplace at Headley Grange, a supposedly haunted mansion, and his hand just started writing. He said he almost leaped out of his seat as the words appeared. He wasn't thinking, his hand was moving on its own. The lyrics that people spend decades analyzing that spawned satanic conspiracies and literary dissertations took less time to write than ordering pizza. Plant himself suggested something else might have written them. Hey, pretty wild so far, right? If you're enjoying this deep dive into rock's greatest mystery, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in a minute we hit the lawsuit that nobody won, Plant's confession about not understanding his own song, and the moment he started hating his masterpiece. Trust me, it only gets stranger from here. Number 11. Here's the ultimate irony. Robert Plant, who wrote the lyrics, admits he has no idea what they mean. Not in a mysterious, artistic way. He literally interprets them differently depending on the day. The man who channeled these words that millions have analyzed for deeper meaning just shrugs and says the meaning changes. He even included the line, "Sometimes words have two meanings," as if warning us that searching for one truth was pointless. The author doesn't understand his own book. Number 12. The song became a blank canvas for every conspiracy imaginable. Tolkien fans swear it's about Arwen and Aragorn from Lord of the Rings appendices, the journey west, choosing between paths, all matching perfectly. Political activists claim it's about corrupt systems and false promises of change. Economists see a condemnation of materialism and greed. English teachers find metaphors for spiritual awakening. Everyone's right, everyone's wrong. The song means whatever you need it to mean, which might be the most genius thing about it. Number 13. The band never released Stairway as a single. Ever. No 45 RPM record, no official single release, nothing. Atlantic Records begged them. Radio stations pleaded. The band refused. It became the most requested song in rock radio history without ever being a single. They forced people to buy the entire album to hear it. 8 minutes of uncommercial music that broke every rule of commercial success. It shouldn't have worked. It became the template for how to make something massive by refusing to play the game. Number 14. By 1977, Robert Plant started having panic attacks before performing it. The song he channeled in 20 minutes of mysterious inspiration became his personal hell. Every night, thousands demanding their hymn, every note feeling more hollow. He called it sanctimonious, empty of meaning, just going through the motions. Imagine being haunted by your own ghost, the creation that made you immortal slowly killing your soul. That's what Stairway became for its own creator. Number 15. The song contains one of rock's greatest mysteries. Who played what? While Page gets credit for the guitar, Jones played multiple instruments, including that recorder and keyboards. But session musicians may have contributed uncredited parts. Sandy Denny from Fairport Convention might have added vocals. The credits remain deliberately vague. Even band members give different accounts in different interviews. The most analyzed recording in rock history, and we still don't know exactly who played every note. It's like the song itself refuses to be fully understood. Number 16. Radio stations created their own edit versions, butchering the 8-minute epic into 4-minute segments, without band permission. Some cut the solo, others removed the entire acoustic opening. One station played it in 2 parts with commercials between. Each station had their own Frankenstein version. The band was furious but couldn't stop it. They'd refused to create an official single, so stations made their own. The song, meant to be a complete journey, was carved up and sold in pieces like musical meat. Number 17. The recording has a mistake that became legendary. At 0:26, you can hear John Bonham's squeaky bass drum pedal. They left it in. At 4:19, yes, the same timestamp as the satanic message, there's a phone ringing in the background. They left that too. Page's guitar has feedback issues during the solo. Still there. These weren't oversights. Page, the notorious perfectionist, decided these errors gave the song life. The most polished song in rock history was deliberately left imperfect. Number 18. The song killed Led Zeppelin's touring. Not immediately, but slowly. Every show had to include it. Fans rioted when they didn't play it. It had to be the climax, but 8 to 10 minutes every night for years, it became their chain. Other songs got shorter sets. New material was ignored. The audience came for one song, the band became a Stairway delivery system. By 1980, they could barely stand playing it. When Bonham died and the band ended, Plant seemed almost relieved he'd never have to play it again. But wait, before we hit the bonus fact that will completely change how you hear that solo, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We drop new music mysteries every week, and next time we're exposing the dark truth about Hotel California that the Eagles still won't discuss. Number 19. MTV refused to play the song when they launched in 1981. Not because it was too long, they played longer videos. Not because it was too old, they played older songs. The real reason? Led Zeppelin wouldn't make a music video for it. The band that conquered radio refused to adapt to television. MTV executives begged for any footage, even live concert film. The band said no. The biggest song in rock history was banned from music television because the band wouldn't play the video game. Number 20. Jimmy Page can't play it anymore. Not won't. Can't. Arthritis has twisted his fingers. The opening arpeggio that millions have learned requires a stretch his hands can't make. He's tried modified tunings, different fingerings, everything. The architect of the solo everyone copies watches YouTube covers of kids playing his masterpiece. In recent appearances, he's had session players hidden behind amps playing the parts he wrote. The hands that channeled magic can only remember what they once could do. Bonus fact, the legendary guitar solo, the one Jimmy Page improvised in 3 takes, it wasn't improvised at all. Engineer Andy Johns revealed decades later that Page had worked out every note in advance, practicing for days in secret. The whole spontaneous genius story was manufactured mythology. Page wanted to seem like a wizard who could conjure perfection from thin air. He pre-planned the imperfection, scripted the spontaneity, and rehearsed the magic. The solo exists, it's still genius, but the legend of its creation? Complete fiction. Even more bizarre, Page made engineers sign agreements never to reveal the truth. Johns only spoke after his contract expired. The greatest improvised solo in rock history was actually the greatest lie in rock history, which means everything about this song, even the truth about how it was made, is designed to deceive you. If Stairway to Heaven shaped your taste, changed your life, or just thoroughly confused you for 8 minutes, drop a like and subscribe for more untold stories from music history. Tell us in the comments which fact shocked you most. Was it the backward message in your brain or Page's elaborate solo lie? Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the greatest art comes from the biggest deceptions. Even the stairway to heaven might just be an escalator to nowhere.